My name is TJ. I'm 35 years of age. I'm from Athlone.
I'm John Bourne, 38 from Ballyfermot.
As part of Doyle, I'm 27 and I'm from Tala.
My name is Maureen O'Brien. I'm from Clonmel, County Tipperary, and I'm 24 years of age.
My name is Stephen. I'm originally from Swords and I'm 22. I've been homeless since I was 16.
I had a job and I lost my job in 2000 and towards the end of 2006, beginning of 2007, and I had an apartment at the time and I thought there was another job just around the corner for me, but I kind of went into my savings to hold on to my apartment, and while I was waiting for my welfare to come through, it took nearly 9 months for my dole to come through, and that time I lost the apartment. There was no job and I just never got back up. I've just been in a rut ever since.
My family doesn't want me home, and plus I've no friends or anything like that down there, so there's no point in me somewhere where I'm not wanted, and I don't have a mother to go to either.
My mother and father went through a rough breakup and I chose the wrong side, so I got thrown out with my dad, and then of course my dad moved in with his missus and there was no room for me.
My mother's an alcoholic. She got involved with a drug addict who bet the shit out of her and the rest of us our whole lives, and my father didn't want to know us, so that's how it ended up like that.
I was in the hostel situation, and Dublin City Council hostels are rough places. You know, a lot of people with problems, a lot of people with mental health issues, addiction issues, and it's very hard to live with that when you're come from a different background and when you're kind of semi-stable yourself, even though you're not employed or you're not. You know, I regard myself as a pretty stable person, but now I'm sleeping in a car park.
Same place all the time, have a tent. You're not even allowed in the hostel, but they're not homeless. Sure, I used to come back, don't never leave my side. Especially these two are with me every day.
I go to backpackers hostels if we can get me money, but if we don't, I just sleep out. They don't provide anywhere for you, except shitty hostels where your clothes get robbed.
Sometimes I stay in the homeless hostels, and sometimes I stay on the streets, so I do, but the past couple of nights I've been out in the cold, and it's harder to get hostels. It is coming up to the Christmas.
Spent a good long time to see their house, and that was what I called home. It's €20, and €20 is really hard to come by nowadays. At the moment I'm left in a backpackers hostel. I try not to go into the homeless hostels. Any type of drug you want, you can get your hands on in homeless shelters. I couldn't go back near heroin. I ended up strung out on heroin up until 20th of November last year, and I'm fighting now at the moment to recoup a relationship with my mother. Now I've realised how much damage I've done with my mother, and you know, how much I've lost through my mother, you know, and much of a childhood I actually lost, like being strung out as well. It was horrible, you know. And I mean, only for my granddad last year. My granddad, 6 months before he died, took me in, and he done a quick 3-month detox with me. Got me onto a methadone program, brought me down to 20 mils then, and then in the last 3 months his life went down to 2.5 mils, and then when he died I knocked everything on the head. And his year's anniversary was just there last Tuesday. My granddad thought, you know, I'll do one good thing before I die, and I'll show them that he can be a better child than what he is. And he did. He proved them wrong, you know, and he helped me along a lot. And it was just a shame. I'm back where now, like, you know, I've nowhere else to go.
I was on drugs, and I'm on the methadone now, so I don't have to beg money for drugs or anything like that anymore, just for my food and my accommodation.
Not all homeless people are junkies, and I won't go into a Dublin City hostel or a council hostel. I'll go into a backpackers hostel, because at least, you know, you're with stable people in there, and you don't have syringes in your face and things like that. I think there's a stigma attached to the whole homeless issue, and people look down and say, "Oh, it's just a drug addict. They're not even homeless," and you know, and that's unfortunately the way it's gone. The real deals are out there, like, you know, and it's just tough.
Loads of times. The last hostel I was in, 4 guys who moved into the room were full of drink, and because I was a stranger, they waited till I went to sleep and they bet me around in the house, 4 of them, with like bars of soap and socks and shit like that. Kicked the shit out of me for like nothing. Fractured and broke my nose. And that was it. I had to run out of hostel that night at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I've got mugged, I've been robbed, been intimidated, been bullied.
I do get bullied and that, but it's hard for me sometimes as well, because I'm from the country. There a few months ago, a girl jumped me for €1.40 on the Haley Bridge, and no one was there to actually save me or nothing.
The fella I knew, he got petrol poured all over him. We wasn't that far away from him, asleep. I put a light on him and grabbed him.
Like one night I was sleeping in Temple Bar in my sleeping bag. Some fella came out of a pub, and he was with 3 other lads, and he came over now and he threw about a tenner in change and a €5 note into my cup, and his mate turned around and said, "What the fuck did you give him that for? He's just gonna go and spend that on drugs." With that, your man went to grab the cup, and I grabbed the cup first. The following thing was a belt in the fucking face. Then the other 3 started laying into me, and his mate was there trying to pull them off. They left me in a bad way. They broke 3 of my ribs, punctured one of my lungs, fractured my collarbone, fractured my pelvis, tore ligaments in the back of my right knee that will never fully be healed. That can never fully be healed. They've at the moment they are stitched together, but they're never proper gonna heal. Like, you know, they're damaged for life. So the likes of cold weather, and you know, I'm gonna have arthritis in that knee now for the rest of my life.
No, I wouldn't say there's any others. The usual false crack and welfare, sending out letters and go to interviews, but it's when you're actually, someone comes to you and they offer you a job, that's when you really can say something might work out here. And this crack of going for interviews and being turned down left, right and centre. People see you've been homeless, you've been out of action for 2 or 3 years. Like, why have you been out of action for 2 or 3 years? You know, why haven't you been working? Why hasn't anyone been working in the last 2 or 3 years? You know, I've hopefully found something for the Christmas period, a part-time job, and a girl actually offered me, while she caught me doing the poem, she offered me work over the Christmas, but it's only for the Christmas season. But it might lead to something else, but hopefully next year I'll go back to college and work from there. So next September I'm hoping to be back in action.
Simon posted to give me an interview here where you can have your animals in the hostel. That was all lies. Said he'd give me somewhere to live when I saved the rabbit that time. That was all lies. Said he'd give me a job. That was all lies. Everything's just promises. No promises come true. You can't get nothing without an address.
Like, you need to have ID to prove who you are when you're starting a job. You need to have ID to prove who you are when you're going to courses. And You know, like, that's literally my prized possessions, my passport and my Garda age card. Maybe one day I might get lucky. Maybe I might get a job. I might get enough money to get out of this country. You know, and if I do, hopefully sooner rather than later.
If I don't get the Fáilte, which is the morning service and Merchant's Quay for breakfast, I sometimes sit down and I do this poem. I literally have to beg for the price of a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, because as long as I have enough money in my pocket to buy a cup of tea or get a sandwich during the night if I wake up and I'm cold. The fact is I'm on the streets. I don't get welfare because I don't have a fixed abode, a fixed address, and that's a big problem, you know.
The money is gone less. People are not giving what they used to give.
You make nothing anymore.
There's more people on the streets than there was this year than there is last year. I just usually sit down and make money for my food and hostels, or else I do a poem on the ground to keep myself and my partner going.
Been asked twice when ready. Is the camera looking at you there? Alright? So if we have any doubt whether you can be arrested or not, the camera's looking at you there. Alright?
Sorry about that.
You'll be arrested the third time.
Because I'm not staying in backpackers hostels, I'm not receiving a payment, because I can't guarantee I'm going to be there every night, because I can't guarantee that I'm going to have the money to pay for it every night. You know, like, I mean, the guards now cracking down on us, as you've seen there. You got moved on with the last person you were taught by a Gardaí, and she got told that she was seen there again, she was arrested. I've got one coming up now in court now. This is my third time being arrested for it. The first two times they gave me €100 fines for begging. You know, but what would they rather me do? Would they rather me go and rob old ladies or jump over counters in shops? You know, answer me that one. Like, I can't get my head around it.
Being alone, you know, the loneliness, it's just eats you up, you know. I'm on my own, everyone's on their own in the streets, I guess, but I'm definitely a loner, you know, because I'm not in with any crew. I'm in a group all of my own, you know. Just waking up cold is the worst thing. I can't do another night down that car park. It's far too cold.
Oh, it's the cold weather. People rough on the streets at night time. People piss on you.
The weather's getting colder and colder and colder, so it's harder. If I didn't have my partner, I'd be lost without him. So, because he's keeping me going, so he is, like, because I have no other friends on the streets. So I haven't.
You don't make friends, you make acquaintances, you know. You treat everybody like an enemy, because you never know when they're going to turn around and stab you in the back.
Having nowhere to go, having no one to talk to, and just walking around in the pissing rain, knowing that no one gives a fuck about you. Spending Christmas on your own.
With my family, every Christmas day we do Christmas presents on Christmas Eve at like midnight, and then we drink and eat ham sandwiches, and then on Christmas Day we go visit pretty much my entire extended family. Come home then for Christmas dinner, and then all pass out. I'm buying my brother a laptop because his broke and he lives in another country.
I'll probably be spending it with my boyfriend and his family this year. I'll probably go for dinner, Christmas dinner with him, and go down and see the family in the morning, and then that would be it. I love the warmth of it. I love the coziness of your house when it's all done up.
I spend it with family. Like, my sister comes over from Australia every now and again. How about you, Cowan?
Used to, like, my aunties and uncles would come over St. Stephen's night, like, and drink and play poker and stuff like that. Give each other presents and all, you know.
Oh, your family's together, like. So it's
the togetherness, like if everyone like sort of come together, even if like you're falling out with someone, this sort of everyone comes together at Christmas, like. So that's it.
At home with my family. All the family just comes home, we all get together for Christmas dinner. Yeah.
Well, I'll go home and we just sit around for dinner. There's no spirit, I don't know. There is a spirit, but there's not. I think it's lost over the last few years because it's not just all about giving and giving and giving and giving and receiving and everything. Like, and I think it's about like giving to the world, really, basically. And I think a lot of people have lost their focus on that. And I think a lot of people are, even people who are rich, I don't know, they think they can, you know, buy, and that's not important. The important thing is, you know, giving, being around people who probably need people around, and it's not just about gifts, it's about people too.
People pass you in the streets, you ask people for the time, and they look at you and they say, oh, I don't have any change. You know, you don't mention anything about money, and you ask them for the time, and it's like, I don't have any change. You know, you ask people for, you see people smoking, you ask them for a light, and they just stare at you. They say, I don't have one, and they're clearly smoking in front of you. You know, I don't know. You know, people take so much for granted. Like, I mean, I took so much for granted when I was stable and like working, and I'd pass homeless people on the street, and still, I'd still stop and offer them a cup of tea or something like that. Sometimes that's all a homeless person needs, is someone to stop and talk to and make them feel like they're human. And Jesus, some days here you'd be sitting 4 or 5 hours before someone come along and offer you a cup of tea or coffee, and then they stop and talk to you, and you know, it puts you in great form. You know, it lifts your spirits, it really does.